It's time for round two. But before that, let me change the thing real quick. Twin database. All right. And once again, everyone, or maybe those who just arrived, welcome. This time, we just finished the Wuthering Wave reaction and discussions. But now we're gonna start our reactions and maybe discuss more about the upcoming 1.1 update for Duet Not Abyss, the Huashu version. I guess they call the update the Wind Awakening. Ooh, I'm looking forward. Like the characters that they showcase, like even in the previous program, like the 1.0, it looks really sick. I really hope they stepped up in terms of like the graphical, like the model, like fidelity, especially like how different Rebecca looks compared like to her PNGs. But yeah, without further ado, let's begin. Thing as usual. There we go. Sorry. Oh, merchandise.
Hello， 大家好，我是二重螺旋制作人石贝大雄，欢迎大家收看本次新版本的前瞻直播。大家好，我是二。
First of all, you can kind of tell that the set design itself is kind of like definitely like lower budget compared to like Wuthering Waves like program earlier, which is like personally this is something that I would prefer. Like I really prefer when like a developer actually put most of their budget on the games instead of like the presentation. But like a lot of, like some people might not like it. Some people really like seeing like good like previews and programs, right? I think like especially people that like really loves interacting with like the team and like the community, they would really prefer seeing the company put more investing more in like the community interactions, which include like probably like live events and stuff like that. But like I personally someone that for the most part enjoys the 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 media through the gameplay. So honestly I would really prefer if like companies put their money and their time into the game itself. But again, that's me. All right, moving on.
二重螺旋运营小段，
我是二重螺旋的场景美术小智。
那这次直播呢，还是由我们3位给屏幕前的受益人们，介绍大家期待已久的华胥版本，以及公测以来一系列的优化。
You can kind of tell he's reading though. I mean, to be fair, even in Wuthering Wave, you can kind of tell that like they're reading too. But I guess like they put the prompt like somewhere different, like in a different place than the camera. So I'm assuming they're not using one of those like expensive like camera plush prompter that is like on the same exact thing. Maybe they're using something else, because like whenever he reads, he always looks the other way.
内容直观分享。
二重螺旋是我们工作室的第一款产品，那也是公测前2个月进行了一波比较大幅度的转型和调整。那我们公测以来其实收到非常多玩家的认可还有支持，那也有很多对于
It's definitely the audio is also definitely much quieter.
的质疑。那我们过去2个月当中，其实我们也不断的通过角角简报和大家进行了一个持续沟通跟交流。那同步已经确定好的优化内容。然后公测其实我们也准备了，其实我们非常准备不足的情况，其实
Okay. They're acknowledging that the fact that the game has a lot of polishing to do, and I really appreciate them for acknowledging that. I think Wuthering Wave did the same when I think actually they didn't do it. They only did it through like a post on Twitter, because I think like they kind of failed hard in the first program that they had. So they were like, they ended up not doing any program for like a couple updates, if I'm not wrong. But I think they acknowledged the problem, and like I think Pan Studio here is doing the same thing, and I appreciate them for doing that. What I really want to see is like what plans do they have in the future? How many problems did they actually acknowledge? How many problems did they actually catch? And how are they planning to solve it? Also, this guy has a lot of white hair, bro. I feel that, bro. Someone that is like still pretty young but already growing up like white hair. I feel you.
很抱歉的，所以这里真诚的跟大家说一句对不起。 那后续
No, I don't know if this is like just naturally or like if he actually colored it like that, right? But like I feel you. If it's natural, I feel you.
会努力的做好每一个版本的内容和体验的优化，让大家玩的更舒心、更爽快。大家其实也非常关心我们移动还有那个商业化的一个优化部分。那我们会在直播的后半段以画面的形式展示目前的优化进度。
期盼了好久的华胥版本，其实这次也是终于要来了。之前运营的角简报里也是发了好几张的华胥版本的实机截图。其实在这段时间我们也是加班又加点，给做了非常多的这个场景方面的优化还有迭代。目前是有点忐忑的，希望大家看了之后会喜欢我们二重螺旋这次的新风格。
那事不宜迟，让我们就直接进入今天的正题。首先向大家说明，我们的华胥资料片会分为几个篇章，逐步上线。然后整个资料片里面总共会有6名新角色登场。
6 new character means 2 new character per version then. Interesting. So this is basically their kind of roadmap for the next 3 updates, I'm assuming.
这次直播的话，为大家介绍的是华胥资料片中的大风歌版本的上期内容。新版本的主要内容呢，包括了全新的资料片剧情、全新的场景，然后新的角色、新的武器，还有我们新的角色外观、武器外观等，以及一些各类的玩法还有活动内容。
今天其实也是一个比较有意义的日子啊。我们二重螺旋的华胥资料片在那个 TGA 的舞台上放映了。那我们就先回顾一下这支片子。
Ooh, big dragon. Damn. Oh man, the sound of the flute is always just so like so Chinesey. Very, very China. Which makes sense, like Huashu is a Chinese region. And then like they're showcasing a lot of like open fields. So it's really sad that when like they're showcasing all this like open areas and then the game ended up not being open world personally. Because like if that's the case, I think like I don't know. I feel like the trailer is setting up the wrong expectations, I guess. Ooh, and an engine scene. Man, this art is so good. It's setting up such a high expectation. The model doesn't look as good as this, unfortunately. I want to say like the model is probably like 80% of what this PNG looks, compared to like something like Wuthering Wave, which is probably closer like to like 95%, like similar, like between the PNG and the actual character. So I guess this is like the difference in budget, which I think is really confusing because like Hero Games technically backed this company up like as a publisher, right? So you would think that like they would have more budget, like more money to work with. I don't know. Maybe it's like the whole monetization changes that like kind of like cuts deep on their pocket, because like when you have like when you let go of the gacha system, right, you're letting go a lot of like potential income. So I guess like because of that, like I think they might not get as big of a backing from like Hero Games as to compared to something Wuthering Wave like was back then. Because I think Wuthering Wave kind of failed back then too on their launch, and that's why they ended up being taken up by Tencent instead, right? And like Hero Games eventually backed out fully from the ownership of the company, so now it's just between Kuro Games and Tencent. Whereas this game is now fully backed by Hero Games and Pan Studio. But I really hope Hero Games stick around for this company because like this game is actually really decent. Like I think the fastest, like one of the fastest dailies I could use so far. And the fact that like it doesn't give me too much FOMO, like it still has some FOMO because it still has limited events, right? But like considering how fast it takes for me to finish the daily, and like the fact that even if I do miss the daily, it like the only thing that it affects is honestly like the trial ranks, the account level basically, because like you can grind everything else. I think it makes it like makes playing it much more enjoyable for me, because I'm playing not out of FOMO but rather because I want to play. And also the fact that they say available on Steam. So I'm assuming like with 1.1, they're going to actually release the game on Steam, which is like what I've been waiting for because I've been using their launcher all this time. And while it's good, I would personally rather have less launchers to begin with.
OK， 那这是二层螺旋手。
Oh man. You can kind of tell they're much more awkward about this.
像 TGA 啊，我们也其实非常的荣幸，那同时也非常的高兴能与全球的玩家同时分享我们的华胥资料。
Which I think is fine. It's not an attack on them.
那本次呢
I think like as a developer, like if you cannot really talk in front of the camera all that much, if you cannot be too expressive like all that much, like all fine and dandy. I'm just pointing out something like what I'm seeing right now. I'm not attacking them or anything like that.
将会在12月23号。
Also, the name of the Wind Awakening is so funny because like the wind is awakening. Guess where the winds meet. It's so funny because like the Where Winds Meet released recently, and that game has been one hell of a banger. I think that's like my main, like it's gonna be my main game for the foreseeable future with like how much content they have in the game, and the fact that like there's literally the gacha is literally purely cosmetic.
正式上线。
我看视频里面有很多暗示剧情走向
Just like this game.
我们的主角和芷流还有白一起乘着船驶向港口。那大雄老师可以给我们整体介绍一下华胥资料片中这个剧情吗
？OK， 在公测版本末尾开启的异乡来客活动中，我们结识了来自华胥的大商人芷流。在他的指引下，我们会来到一个全新的国度华胥。在华胥呢，卡戎之名的地位和海伯利亚帝国完全不同。华胥的人呢称卡戎。
Long Scion in Huashu. So in Huashu, Karons are actually like revert. They're probably called like the heralds of the gods or something like that based on the name alone.
卡戎之名为有容氏，他们认为卡戎的角是吉祥的象征。
Auspicious symbol, symbol of divinity. The status is exceptionally high. Exactly.
叫做大风九章的律法管理
Laws, as known as the 9 chapters of Dafeng.
所有的犯罪行为无需人为制止，都会被律法自动惩戒就像是人在做天在看。因此，华胥是一个没有犯罪和战争的和平国度。然而，在这个小说的表现下呢
Interesting. So there is no police. They're guarded by the spirits of the land of sort.
华胥正酝酿着一场巨大的危机，叫烛阴之灾。在华胥的各方势力相继登场，我们的主角收友人也会意外陷入这场纷争当中。那除了资料片外呢，我们还新增了6条支线任务供大家体验。大家可以通过这些支线更完整的去了解华胥的世界观，见证华胥的风土人情。
6 new side quests. So the fact that they mentioning it probably means that this is like the special side quest.
看来这次主角的地位是直线上升呀。
在华胥其实我们舍友人其实是非常受欢迎的。
Fox hunters are naturally popular. I mean, it makes sense because in Huashu, like Karons are actually revered in compared to like the Empire.
当中其实我们看到了一部分的场景，整体的美术风格其实也全面转向了
The overall art style has turned more realistic.
那这次更新华胥的新
Huashu is considerably larger than that of the ice. Like, okay, actual open world.
其实就由小智老师来大家灌一下大家这个我们新的这个华胥版本场景了。
可以的。新版本中，我们首先开放的是位于华胥南部的燕京渡区域。首先呢，通过位于兼加浦的福星部码头，就进入了华胥的境内。这里巨大的界碑上铭刻着上天定下的律法大风9章。然后是燕京渡的大型商会百年村。
This actually looks really cool.
百年村是华胥繁荣贸易的见证。在北部杏林当中呢，坐落着服饰家传的医馆库荣阁。往西北方的高地上走，受烛阴之灾影响的。
This is exactly look like the tree on the freaking Wuthering Wave, like 1.0.
石海， 大量的会兽还有玄色的彼岸在此游荡。
Sable Beyond.
而在地图的西边有一座巨大的岛屿。
Man, I love this place. This definitely has a lot of like wuxia vibe to it on this one, where the evil god resides and like the demonic master, like hides his cult or something like that.
前人用来封印读音的祭坛，这里只列举了部分的华胥区域，还有很多的场景，其实期待着受阅人自己去亲临。
He's like the most awkward of them all because like this guy is only like looking at a time and then like reading and then like he was memorizing and then he would go back to like looking at a camera. That guy is straight up just like reading.
很多新的地方，而且这些场景看起来都非常
Yeah,
精致。
see?
是的，华胥。
This guy is just straight up like he doesn't even look away most of the
我
time.
们重新去构建了美术底层的这个表现逻辑，对渲染的风格也是做了更多新方向的调整。我们希望是以更丰富的地貌环境，还有就是场景的奇观，去为大家营造
Spectacular screens. Okay. So I'm assuming this is like the area where they put considerable amount of resources into it because they they teased it since 1.0. So they already knew that 1.0 is rough around the edges. So they're hoping with 1.1 they can kind of redeem themselves. And also it's because it's Chinese region. They're much more familiar with like Chinese theme region, I'm assuming. I mean, who am I kidding? They're Chinese, obviously. But I think it's really interesting. I really have high hopes. And like especially if I can explore all this like seamlessly without like teleporting with like loading screens.
同时呢，在视频当中，我们也可以看到整个华胥的资料片，场景方面相比较公测的版本，美术风格其实是更加写实的。在材质细节还有光影表现上，这方面我们都是比之前更加的细腻，然后美术质量也明显是有所提升的。
这些变化其实都是基于我们之前承诺过的。我们团队其实在未来的时间当中会持续推出更加优质的内容来保障大家。
I'm looking forward to it.
那我们也希望
And if I'm happy, I would spend more money, obviously.
版本跟全新方向可以让大家更加满意。
是的，大家后续如果有更多想要体验的方向或者内容，都可以去建议，然后持续的给我们制作组反馈。我们也会争取在未来的长线版本当中呢，持续给大家带来更优质的游戏体验。同时在新版本当中，我们也同步更新了这个昼夜系统，大家可以在燕京度的区域范围内，然后去自由的切换时间，
So you can skip time now.
和自己的好友在自己喜欢的光照环境下去进行。
That definitely looks much better. I can still kind of tell that this like rocks are low poly. But I think there's definitely a lot more details here from afar, especially like compared to like how cartoonish like Ice Lake looks. And especially like the shading too, it's definitely much better. You can kind of still see the LOD here, even though like it's dark and it's a bit like misty.
更多的冒险体验。
So I can definitely tell what they're talking about, like the lighting improvement.
技能物子棋的展示动作，然后我们发现，在冰湖城的这个广场区域就出现了一个人传人的现象，就是大家一起在广场群舞斗舞。所以在这次版本中，我们也将这个联机区域的功能覆盖了整片燕京度的区域，大家可以有更多的区域和好友们一起去游玩。
Nice. So this is what co-op is all about. You can't just put them in one area, right? Especially an area that is in the middle of nowhere where there's like literally like no places for you to like kind of sit down and everything like that. If you're gonna make it like a co-op experience, I think you should like add more stuff like we can do together instead of like just, okay, everyone can see each other on this specific spot. That sounds really sad, not gonna lie.
其实这样的话，我也可以。
And also you can kind of tell, yeah, a lot of the improvement is not on the assets itself, but like on the lighting. You can still kind of tell that the assets is definitely low res, even though like technically the video is also low res, but like just trust me on this, guys. And also like the color, there's definitely has more contrast that kind of shows that like the lighting improvement.
可以跟好友去找自己喜欢的角落拍照，然后刚刚的视频当中，我看其实还展示了就是动作系统，好像是新增了很多内容。
是的，考虑到大家的联机需求，我们也增加了一批免费的动作，在印象商店中就可以获得啦。
太好了，太好了！哎，那接下来是不是该介绍一下我们这次版本更新的这个角色了？
OK， 没问题。 在华胥的资料片当中呢，我们将会推出6位新角色，他们分别是服饰传人福叔、仗剑侠客克州、百年村大掌柜芷流，以及保护昌生为己任的应天卫玉明，擅长机关术的少女。
Now this one has a good model. The guy doesn't look as good as like the actual PNG. I don't know.
苏乙，以及我们非常熟悉的老朋友冰湖城。
Also, the way they announce it, I'm assuming that's like the order they're gonna be released on. Hello, Miss Camilla. Man, one hell of a camera angle.
园的老板娘卡米拉。
卡米拉。
其实看起来我们的新角色也精致了非常多，头发好像也更加飘逸。不过这个是不是伴随着模型的面数也要增加呀？
其实我们一直都在做角色方面，还有整个游戏方面的优化，这其中有包括我们的角色细节。
OK。
那我们随着华胥版本开放，其实我们优化了很多的角色的细节了，例如增加了角色的模型面数，增加了皮肤的体感，迭代了头发的制作方式，优化了描线的算法，还丰富了优化服饰的一些材质表现等等了。那这些角色效果呢，其实在我们这些调整完之后，也会看起来更加细腻的。
OK。
那刚才大勇老师讲的都是美术方面的一些调整优化。那么还是给大家再介绍一下这2个新角色的这个故事以及他们的技能们。
OK。那首先是我们具有特别古典气质。
Oh my god, a healer.
那福叔作为家传的医馆。
Also available from 23. Oh, their update is right before like the Christmas. Oh man, I'm looking forward to it already. Man, I think the only thing this game is missing is honestly like the global, like allowing us to play with other people from different servers. Honestly, this game is definitely much more reliant on the co-op aspect compared to like all other games like Wuthering Waves and Genshin Impact and all that like. So like I feel like they're missing out a lot on not allowing like global audience to like for people to play with people from different region. Like for example, I would really love to play with my friends that lives in a different country, but I can't because I'm playing on an NA region. And I don't really want to like main on a different region, right? I just want one account that can play on all of them. Like, I don't know, like Where Winds Meet. Because even though Where Winds Meet is mainly a single player like experience, like they have co-op aspect too. So they were like, yeah, you know what? You can play with everyone from all servers. Like if you can bear the lag, go for it, man. And I think that's like the kind of freedom of choice that I wish they would have. Like, hopefully the game gets more successful and they can afford to do that down the line. I'm looking forward to it. But I think from what I know, it definitely costs a lot more to do something like that. So it makes sense. If they don't do it yet, I'm gonna definitely be putting that a lot on my feedback though. Like at some point they gotta like convert it to like a global server.
枯荣阁的传人。福叔上堂画腐朽。
Oh man, I can't. I like the outfit design.
为生机的治愈魔法，在
definitely looks better. I think especially in this part, I think like the kind of like the stocking texture definitely looks. I mean, like I'm talking like I'm judging this like critically, right? But like this is like based on like my observation of like what I can see right now. And the quality of the video is obviously not that good, but like I think like so far, it definitely looked a bit more detailed. I'm not sure by how much. But like the model itself actually does look better than like the previous model of like the older characters, I think. Especially like with considering like how intricate this outfit is compared to the older model, right? A lot of the older model has like a more like a Western like simplistic outfit, but like this one has a lot of like intricate pattern, especially like with the dragon scale here. So like seeing this, like even if the quality is the same as last time, the difficulty in like designing an outfit like this is definitely like higher. So like the fact that they can maintain like even maintain the same like similar quality to like the previous outfits with how hard the design this goes, like I think it's like a kind of like a testament in like how much effort they've put into like the art and the graphical and the visual fidelity. And also you can kind of tell how crappy like the model, like the assets for the other stuff is. Like you can literally see that this like this freaking face in the right side of the corner here, the polygon count is so low, you can kind of see the jagged edges of like the face. So yeah.
角色设计上呢，它其实引入了中式的旗袍。
I think it looks really good, and I think definitely like this looks much more slightly more natural, I guess.
出差的
Oh wait, they went zoom they zoomed in. Okay, there's definitely a lot more details. You can still tell that this is kind of like a texture and not like a fully built like 3D model. Like here, like there's like no depth whatsoever, at least like on the arm side. But like the outfit side, I think they did the better job here because this is definitely like harder to find. Like you know, you can kind of tell it's still PNG. You can kind of tell it's still texture and not like actual 3D model. But like it's definitely harder to see now.
元素来塑造浮出这种温柔沉静的东方少女感。那浮出的小
And like again, maintaining this level of quality on like a much more intricate design is already like an extra effort in itself.
它会召唤云离进行协助作战，对周围的敌人造成水属性的伤害。这里面比较重要的
Okay, subtitle could be better.
是它可能为队友提供治疗，还有神智回复。它的大招其实是能造
That
成
ultimate sucks. I ain't gonna lie to
队友
you.
提供治疗，还有
The fact that it zooms to her face and her face doesn't look, it's just like she just smiled.
它的大招其实是能造成范围伤害的同时，
I think like instead of like pausing there, if they could just like made it more smooth, and it's like the camera panning out instead of like just zoom in, stop, and then zoom back out, right?
呢还能将自身以及队友的附加护盾以及技能威力提升的效果。
能够增加这个神智回复，那是不是我的赛奇就可以一直飞在天上，就不会掉下来了？
神智确实是一个我们游戏当中非常重要的资源，所以辅助也是非常重要的一个角色。
Oh my god.
那接下来我再为大家介绍一下这个我们的侠士克州。
克州
自称飘零人的克州，言谈举止之间无拘无束，尽显侠客风范。喜欢四处闯荡的他。
He looks much more calmer in the 3D model.
健硕，武艺高强，对各种武器都十分擅长。
Oh yeah, the hair is definitely like smoother, at least like in the smaller part.
当然，他最喜
I
欢
think like on the longer, I think that on the longer hair, even the older models are doing a good job of like simulating like the physics. But I think like the smaller hair actually moved this time. I think it's the kind of detail that they don't have previously. I think.
还是常见。克州的小技能会对周围的敌人造成伤害，自身也会获得远程武器攻击速度提升的效果。而当他开启大招后，会召唤刀剑对周围敌人造成伤害。此时使用近战武器能随机切换到单手剑、重剑、长柄和双
He
刀
can
的
switch his weapon
开启
type.
大招后也会对敌人造成伤害。
这里我其实还要补充一下，其实克州大招我们也是做了一些小设计的，就是它的每一个武器的模组，其实我们都是做了单独的设计的，并不是用通用的模组来做。
其实我觉得这个设计挺符合这个克州武器大师的身份。
是的。那除了两个角色以外，我们刚才也提到了这个有新的武器嘛。那我们新的武器，这个边刃武器、泽式的词语，还有突击枪，弱滑的飞光，然后这两个新武器呢，都会后续直接可以从沉浸式戏剧玩法中获取。另外还会有两把新武器，突击枪血舞云屏和长柄武器未来之歌。
It's always nice that like since this game is like technically a grind game, they have to like introduce multiple weapons on like each run.
武器呢会直接加入到梦魇残生中。那在迷津兑换商店中呢，我们会这个更新全新的招式魔之蝎锋刃元武
Reaping Waltz
这个
or
魔之蝎
Sights.
给双刀武器装
Oh,
备
for dual
呈现
blades.
出全新的战斗表现。更多的更新情报，请各位受益人留意。
See, here's the thing, right? Weapons are fucking useless in this game. At least so far. I don't know if they're gonna do like an announcement on like how they're gonna improve the weapons. Like, but right now, weapons are fucking ass. Like at some point on the levels, once you reach high enough, the weapons barely matters. The only thing that matters is like what stats it gives you.
留意后续的这个更新公告。然后今天没有提到的，其实还有4位新角色。那这4位角色我们会在后续他们正式登场前再为大家做更详细的介绍。
OK， 说了这么多，是不是差不多到了？
It makes sense, but I don't know if it's a good idea to how people love like leaking things. At the same time, so far, I don't think this game has blown big enough to the point that like leakers are like putting their effort into leaking things. So I think it's fine for now, but I think it's good for them if they would like do it like if they would build a more do a better job of like building more hype along the way. I think.
到了给大家发福利的时间了。
没错没错。那么我们今天直播的第一个兑换码给大家送上，大家可以一边看直播，然后一边打开游戏进行兑换。
OK， 那么接下来其实就是大。
You know what? That's nice of them. If that is that like if it like Wuthering Wave takes the other effort, like the other side of the effort, the other side of the poll, right? Where they put extra effort on like the ads animation, so they use that to like do a transition and like kind of like a short break between the special program. While this company knows that they cannot like afford to like invest too much on like these kind of things, so they were just like, okay, here's a quick, here's the code, copy it, and then like let's move on.
大风歌版本当中的活动介绍内容了。那小段继续给大家详细介绍吧。
没问题。然后首先是我们的这个签到活动，12月23日杏花天影签到活动会
yes, the free 10 polls,
所有人
as
只要
usual.
登录满7天就可以领取10个华彩沙漏。同时，我们还将开启限时冒险活动——华胥相识记。受益人们跟着指流的步伐揭开这片神秘国度的真容。受益人只要跟随指引完成探索、战斗以及收集任务，就可以领取比如移转模块、木叶的铝器的道具奖励。
这样就可以一边呢和朋友一起游山玩水、看风景，还有好礼可以领，不错，还可以。
那么在全新的活动灵鸟之阵中呢，受益人将迎来打靶试炼、掩体射击以及制铁球者3种挑战。
Shooting from cover.
分别考验大家的射击命中率、
We're playing Nick Gary now.
以及道具使用的能力。完成这些挑战也可以获得一些道具奖励。
感觉这都像是我们二重螺旋的铁人3项了。
那12月25号开启呢，我们有开启活动角角特别剧场，那大家可以在盖雷亚剧场的区域进行联机共同庆祝这个银烛狂欢节。那受益人可以在指定的 NPC 处报名参加，完成挑战即可获得奖励。此外呢，受益人还可以提交多余的材料到香槟塔来获得对应的全服奖励。
其实我在玩的时候也观察到，有很多的人在冰湖城会出现跳舞的人传人现象。对。然后现在我们大剧院的舞台上，也可以展示更多自己收藏的动作。
是的。以及我们会开启新的活动收获日。那活动期间，夜航手册的魔之蝎委托每天都会有一定次数奖励提升的加成。
那我有个问题，就是委托手册我在这儿能不能叠加使用？
这个活动和委托手册其实是可以叠加使用的。然后活动的本身也是说为了让大家能够快速高效的获得这个魔之蝎。
这个好，这个好。
OK。
那么此外呢，还会开启这个限时委托的模式。然后在这个模式下，会出现大量的号令者，击败他们之后能够获得更多的魔之蝎。
Okay. That's nice. That's great to like kind of ease up on like the Demon Witch grind.
同时减少大家刷副本的时间，然后去降低目前大家就是很大的这个刷取的压力。
But I think the problem is not really the farming resources, right? The problem is like the fact that some of the missions are fucking defense that you cannot repeat. What is the point of making the farming the wedge farming defense if you cannot continue? It's a defense that you have to repeat every fucking minute. That's the dumbest thing ever. Like if you're gonna make a defense, at least make it like, oh, we can continue. But no.
是的。
那2026年1月20号呢，其实随着刻舟加入，我们游戏也会同步开启新的签到活动——少年游。
20 January. That's so weird. That's like 3 weeks, right? Because 8 days. Oh wait, it's 28 days. You know what? Never mind. It's 4 weeks.
那完成签到即可领取10个华彩沙漏了。与此同时呢，还会
So you get like a total of 20 polls. That's actually surprisingly really like generous of them. Most other games gives you like 5 limited polls or something. They went like, okay, here's 20 free polls. I mean, it's just for skins, but like still, that's basically where their money comes from, right? So the fact that they give 20 instead of like just 5, like from what other games do, is really interesting from their side. I appreciate them for doing that.
起轰鸣演练活动，受益人可以将操作炮台攻击会兽，达成这个演练的目标后呢，就可以解锁武器和道具，对炮台进行升级，通关并可以领取对应的这个演练关卡的奖励。除此之外，全新的玩法受益人之阶也要和大家见面了。那活动分为分组赛和巅峰排名2个阶段。 2个阶段的赛制类似，那受益人可以在活动期间内进行不同的难度副本的挑战，那根据战斗的表现获得积分。巅峰排名阶段通关后呢，还能获得受阅纪念币。那受益人可以使用受阅纪念币在商店中兑换熔炼模具和增幅计划器等道具，同时排名积分达到一定程度的受益人呢，还可以获得限定的头像。排名较高的玩家还能获得限定的称号。
哎，等会儿，大勇老师，刚才提到了这个熔炼模具，还有增幅计划器这2个道具，好像之前的版本里没有啊。这2个道具是干嘛用的？
这是我们新增的2个道具。那熔炼道具呢是可以升级武器熔炼等级的。还有增幅激化器呢，则是可以增加魔之械的增幅等级。
哦，原来如此。那
wait. So oh shit.
就不需要再去造。
That's actually really good. Because now that means you don't have to grind for those weapons. You can just use these modules to kind of upgrade the weapons, like instead of like making multiple copies of it. That kind of saves a lot of time on the grinding. Man, that is such a good update.
或者去刷这个其他魔之械，然后能够更快提升我的养成这些等级。
对，就是让大家更方便、更简单的去升级魔之械了，或者还有武器的熔炼。
明白。那以后这种
I guess it's a really good way to kind of sidestep the current problem of like having a hard time like grinding the demon wedges, like with this events and like this new items introductions. But I don't see why they couldn't just like solve the grinding overall. I guess because like I guess in a way it's kind of like a business move, because like these kind of models you can kind of like drip feed them through like event rewards, while changing the whole gameplay system in general just like straight up permanently changes everything, right? It permanently changes the meta and like the overall player engagement, whereas these rewards, they can always give you like 1 per event or something like that. So like every year you get a set amount instead of like being able to do so whenever you want. So I guess like that's how you can see it, but I think it's really appreciated that they're at least trying to like address the problem. Personally, I would really prefer if they just change the fundamental problem, which is like the Demon Wedge grind mission sucks balls. But we'll see moving forward, I guess.
那关于活动的这个更多情报啊，后续我们会通过社媒更详细的介绍给大家。期待大家的参与。
我这儿还有个问题，大雄老师，就是随着服输还有刻舟的加入，咱们各个玩法当中的角色和武器的产出途径是不是也会有所变化？能不能和屏幕前的受阅人们仔细讲一讲大风歌版本当中的这个规划？
OK， 这部分调整呢，大家结合屏幕上的图片就一目了然了。12月23号，服输和则。
Okay, so basically these 3 are getting added to the so yeah, I was right with like the way with like my guesses before. The way they the way they're doing the drops are cascading. So newest character start off in the immersive theater as an abyss drop. So you cannot get them anywhere else. Only immersive theater and buying from the shop. And then the character that are previously on the immersive theater gets downgraded to the nocturnal echoes, which means you can farm more of them every week. And after a certain amount of time in the nocturnal echoes, they will eventually be dropped down to the secret letter shop, where you can grind them for the rest of the game, basically.
是的词语会在沉浸式戏剧中更新，菲娜和织梦的白羽则会进入梦魇缠身当中。同时，新增武器雀舞云屏也会直接加入梦魇缠身。相应的，丽兹贝尔和他另外两把武器也会加入
these weapons need to be better. As it currently is, it barely matters like what weapon you use.
以及弱滑的飞光加入沉浸式戏剧之后，服输和则式的词语就会进入到梦魇缠身。同时，新武器未来之歌也会直接进入梦魇缠身。相应的，离色和另
Yeah, see, oh, Rhythm finally goes into the secret letter shop after this. Interesting.
会加入委托密函的兑换分店。
这部分其实我们是觉得更早的把这个后续版本的角色、武器，包括沉浸式戏剧的这个更新安排，告诉受益人，那方便大家能够提前规划自己后续每周梦魇缠身要去刷哪个角色。
That's really nice of them, just telling them, okay, this is what we're gonna do in the next update. We're gonna lay it out to you instead of like having you guess around.
这把武器，
刚刚给大家介绍了非常多的新内容，然后接下来是一个小短片，大家可以稍作休息一下。
那中场休息也不要忘记我们的直播兑换码。
那看完我们这个中场小视频，大家应该也能猜到了，我们接下来就要介绍
Lunar Event
这次版本中商店的内容部分了。
哦，
我先替玩家问一问，我们之前直播中展示过的这个福叔的泳装，这次是不是要上了？
没错啊，我们的冬天游泳它就来了。
Wait, what? When?
那我先来做一个简单的介绍。
damn it, winter swimming?
12月23日，现
I might actually spend money. If it looks anything like this freaking PNG, hell yeah.
限定卡池
Hell yeah, brother.
潮音启天墨将会同步开启，大家可以获得福叔的限定皮肤速浪灼心，武器皮肤大浪淘沙，还
Fantastic.
有传送特效，星云幻境以及丰富的配饰等。然后使用红色棱镜呢，可以在我们的红色棱镜商店里面去兑换限定的展示动作，悠游水岸。然后大家可以在游戏内的水色吐息活动里面去试玩体验我们这次福叔的全新皮肤。那大勇老师赶紧给我们介绍一下这次皮肤的一些细节吧。
Okay.
那首先福叔的新形象呢，本次
It does look like the. Okay, it's not as transparent as the skin, as the PNG make it to be, but it looks close enough. Oh wait, no, I can see the effects when it was going.
等装饰呢来增加。
Oh yeah, I'm getting this skin, bro.
细节表现的。那搭配上我们的同款配饰，它的整体外观表现是非常有质感的。那此外，福叔的脚呢，和它的先带，我们也单独做了一些水环的设计。然后就是我们的武器形象大浪淘沙，我们尝试把鲨鱼的外形和喷水枪进行了
The weapon actually changes.
融合设计，
Okay,
并
that's
增加了类似
super cool.
钻石的闪亮材质效果。那此外，本次卡池中展示的动作悠游水岸呢，我们还新加了交互的功能。
那这个要怎么交互呢？
那以 PC 端交互方式举例吧，大家在联机区域呢可以使用该动作后，其他的玩家
people can also interact with the
或者是
freaking
可以
thing.
坐在沙滩球上，或者是靠在这个游泳圈旁边。
Nice.
那我上一个版本买了车，这个怎么办？
没有忘掉。同样的，上一个版本极速定格系列展示动作，我们也增加了交互功能。那获取许可的大家呢，就可以坐上好友的车当然，玩家也可以主动邀请好友或者路人进行互动，那分享自己的。
Oh man, now I actually want to get snap freeze. It costs so much though.
OK。那另外我们还新增了展示动作泡泡压和新的光晕、脚步特效等外观的内容。那配合福叔的新皮肤，那是非常清新悠闲的。
刚刚提到卡池当中还有传送特效
Winter swimming for
大勇
real.
老师要一起给我们展示一下。
OK， 大家可以通过屏幕上的视频呢抢先预览。那除此之外，各类的配饰也会同步上线其他的颜色版本。那各位受友人可以根据自己的喜好呢进行购买或者搭配。
那接下来的话就是我们商城中就这个版本会上线的新的主题皮肤，然后这次的主题皮肤是旗袍，叫墨玉韶华。那大勇老师也给我们介绍一下吧。
那本次旗袍的主题皮肤呢，其实是有刺绣、绸缎材质结合的，它凸显了整个。
Oh, and it works on the older character too.
整体的衣服的质感，那同时也给角色的腿部也增加了一些纹饰。
对，我觉得
You can kind of tell the texturing is way better on the newer outfit now. The previous one definitely it looks good, but it's definitely a lot more cartoony. Like you can kind of tell like there's like actual like texture on especially on the dragon part, and like you can kind of like the folds and like the creases, like it definitely looks more realistic. So they're not lying about the fidelity improvement.
我觉得这套皮肤还蛮符合这个华胥的背景设定。然后之前有看到玩家也挺喜欢就是旗袍的这样的皮肤，这次刚好咱们就趁热端上。
是的。随着版本更新呢，我们的这个墨玉韶华旗袍
He looks so handsome with it.
并且会开启。
Man, I really love the fact that you can use the skin on the MC. And the fact that like this is what I've been asking for even in Wuthering Wave, right? Is that when you have a new region, give us a new outfit. And like the Christmas one really fits on Ice Lake because first of all, it's winter in Ice Lake. And second of all, it's near Christmas time. I mean, it's kind of sad that you don't get to buy it like during the Christmas, right? Because this event ends right after Christmas, but still. While this skin, like, oh man, like each new region has a new special skins for the character. Oh man.
现实 优惠折扣活动。这次的主角皮肤依旧是6元的优惠。
打断。
It's kind of basic with a guy, but I still like it.
是上回不少玩家反馈，咱们主角的这个圣诞皮肤就是折扣时间比较短，这次会持续多久呢？
那这次的折扣活动呢，会覆盖整个
So like 1 month.
上期的版本。即使是氪州版本新进来的玩家，也可以享受到这个折扣活动。
Oh no, so like the whole update and the whole 2 months.
那然后是角色的自选皮肤礼箱上新，也会同步的开启限时折扣优惠首见6折。
那还有没有更有力度的东西啊？
其实这次版本我们准备了一个，就是我们会在这个大风哥上期版本，只要你在这个版本期间登录，就可以通过邮件直接领取一件旗袍主题的这个角色自选皮肤礼箱。
我再次打断一下就是这个自选的皮肤礼箱，我是还是只覆盖这一个版本吗？
不是的，我们这次的这个旗袍主题
问的不太好，重新问。
你要问啥？
我就是要问他这个
涵盖多少角色？
对，涵盖的角色是只有大风哥版本的角色吗？
不是，我们这次旗袍皮肤礼箱除了大风哥上期版本以外，其实也包含了公测的所有角色，那么可选角色大概有20多位。对，
那挺好。
那么在新版本中，我们对这个商店推荐页也做了一些界面上的优化，然后玩家可以更加直观地了解到当前版本售卖的内容穿上之后或者购买之后的一个样子。同时跟之前一样，购买新一期的典藏诗集就可以获得本次更新的旗袍主题的皮肤自选礼箱。那么大家可以根据自身的情况去进行选购。
I think I like the fact that they let you keep the stuff instead of like just like, okay, you have to pick now which character you want. I think I really appreciate when like games does that. I think Wuthering Wave does that. I think Girls for Online doesn't fucking do that. Every time I try to claim rewards, they were like, you have to pick which stuff you want to claim now. And I'm like, no, like just let me keep the fucking chest. I'll open when I want to.
有说过我们的大月卡是要进行奖励的更新，还有等级的提升，具体是怎么样的呢？
那关于这个吟游诗集，也就是大家说的大月卡，我们做了一些调整，然后在之前讲解简报中也简单说了一下。那么在新版本中呢，我们会将吟游诗集的等级上限提升至100级，同时在免费获取中会增加铜币以及委托手册2的一些奖励。在付费的档位中，我们会增加着角角知名的信物委托手册3的奖励。
Interesting。
那接下来的话，我们会再介绍一下这次更新后直售类的视频。在新版本中，我们会推出更丰富的这个主题配饰，然后展示动作以及特效外观，来进一步提升角色装扮的自由度。
是的，在上半版本当中，我们将上架父辈语音主题系列的。
for the great. Oh, nice。
反馈非常的好嘛，所以其实我们在这里补全了全系列近战武器的这个父辈语音皮肤。
Nice。I hope they have like a whole pack of them that I can just buy。
新双主题的装饰以及一批新的5角色装饰和展示动作，最后是螺旋飞跃的拖尾特效。在下半版本当中呢，也就是1月20号更新后会上架月舞主题系列、雏鹰主题系列等饰品，以及猫猫主题系列武器皮肤以及全新的外观内容、下落攻击特效。那除了商店上架之外的这些东西，我们本次还会更新一批新的免费的外观内容。
这个月舞狐还有猫猫系列的感觉，挺可爱的。可以给我喜欢的角色，然后去装上这个大尾巴。
是的。那么除了刚才介绍这个饰品以外，我们其实在这个版本还新增了2类与角色相关的内容。第一种呢是交织的思绪礼箱，那么购买后会获得一定数量的月式金胚和一个当期角色的碎片。
Wait, what?
后续每日登录还可以获得一个这个角色碎片。那另外一种呢是思绪礼箱购买之后可以直接获得一定数量的当期新角色碎片。那以上新增内容的详情，后续我们还是通过这个。
So basically, there's now a monthly pass for the characters if you want to get them faster. Is that what you're saying?
社媒的形式来告诉大家。
Like the toy hammer is fucking useless in my opinion. just because like I don't remember, I never used them unless I really want to, but like I barely use them, and you can craft them anyway. So wait, no, you cannot craft them, I think, but you can buy them with like those leftover from the gacha. See, my question would be like, will these like limited gacha time, like gacha skins, eventually join the standard? Oh, who is this? Hi Gio, hello. Welcome to the stream, Gio. Thank you so much for the raid. My name is Lazy Constantine, people. I usually play gacha games, not as much nowadays, but I still play gacha games. And right now I'm like reacting to the Duet and Abyss program. I don't know if you played this game, Geo, but it's basically Warframe but gacha, like but anime, I guess. That's the best way for me to explain it. But yeah, how are you doing? How was your stream? I have heard about it. Oh, if you like game that kind of like appreciate your time, this game is probably the way to go. I think that the fastest daily that I've played so far will be this game. You can literally finish the daily in less than a minute. Like if you just want to lock in daily and do the mission right, which is like I really hate doing dailies. So like if I have to do it, it better be fast, and I can finish this one in like around a minute or so. It's insane. It's just one mission basically. And like you don't even have to do them because you can grind everything in this game. Like the characters and the weapons, like they're not, the gacha in this game is purely for cosmetics. So like, you don't even have to like lock in daily if you don't want to. But yeah, short stream. Oh, what were you streaming here? Let me ask you real quick. Geo. Enjoying Fortnite. Ooh. Damn. Man, that's a game that I haven't heard in a while. Never really clicked with me, not gonna lie, like Fortnite. But to be fair, I kind of hate. I don't really like Battle Royale, but I do hope you win. You got some wins, some W's, some Victory Royale. I think like that's what the winning called in that game, right? But yeah, man. Okay, let's continue the video, I guess. I ran out of my thoughts.
不懂，听不懂，听不懂。
就是去掉包装，我们直白一点的说，那么第一种就是价格会相对更低一些，但是呢，或许还是需要每日登录的方式来获取这个角色。
Okay, it costs less than buying the character straight up with the dots, but you will have to log in daily. So it's kind of like the monthly pass. Interesting, but that's like a better way of introduce. It costs less, I guess.
碎片，第二种来说，相对于角色碎片的原价那我们做了一定力度折扣，然后希望能够大家更快的，就是更优惠的价格来获得我们的新角色。
这样挺好的。就是我希望之后这种优惠的东西越多越好。
对，因为这些的话，我们也是收到了很多玩家反馈觉得就目前游戏内很多。
The current price is too high. I think it's. Here's the thing, right? I think it's too. It's not that it's super expensive. I think it's too high because the alternative is that you can grind the characters for free. So like if you're comparing it between $0 and like around like $50 or so, then obviously the $50 looks more expensive compared to like if you play another gacha games and like there's literally like the amount of currency that you can get is limited per patch. So like there's no other way for you to get it other than like spending money, right? But like in a way, they're not as expensive as other gacha games, like Wuthering Waves, for example. Like getting a guaranteed character costs probably like almost $200 because you need like 160 pulls, like 280s, right? Like 180 is like a hard pity, so like you need 280 pulls to guarantee the character. Meanwhile, in this game, you can just spend $50 and get the characters. So technically they're not that expensive, but the problem is that like they have an alternative is that in that you can get them for free. So I think this is like a good middle ground for the game. Is that like, sure, like we will give you a discount on that, but like you need to play our game, like you need to log in into our game more. I think that's a good. I think that's a middle ground that I would definitely definitely appreciate. I think.
后续这方面优惠的东西肯定会越来越多的。那坦白的说，就是公测版本的商业化内容，无论是质量也好，还是内容量也好，其实都没有达到大家的预期。然后在这里说一声抱歉，就是没有给大家带来比较好的游戏体验。
I kind of feel bad listening to that. Does that mean they're not making enough money, or does that mean that they're sorry because are they sorry because they're not able to deliver a better experience, overall experience on the game, or were they sorry because they're not making enough money right now from both the players and the monetization system?
那么从开服以来，
okay, I need to phrase it better. Are they sorry because they're charging too much of it, or are they sorry because they're not making enough money?
我们投放了一份新的调研问卷
Or maybe it's a bit
我
about.
们收到了非常多玩家关于游戏的建议和修改方向。
See, I think the biggest part for me would be like if first of all, I think two things. I think mainly if this game allowed like a global server, and then if I can give to people like Wherein's Meat do, like where you can play with everyone from any side of the world except China, I think, and you can also give them skins, right? I would probably be more interested in that because I really wanted to give some of my friends some skins because I know they probably wouldn't spend money on it. So I want to be like, but I already have the skin for myself, right? And I cannot buy it for my friend because first of all, there's no gifting. Like, first of all, they're not even in the same server as me, and second of all, there's no gifting system to begin with. So if they added this too, I can definitely see how some people, especially with how this game is definitely leaning more toward the co-op aspect. I think like being able to give each people like other players, I think it's a really beneficial move to kind of like rake in more financial gains without being too like it's a way to like increase profit without like pressing your player down.
也包含了非常多关于商业化的一些内容。那么所以在后续
I'm definitely including this on my next feedback, by the way.
推出更多更具有性价比的外观内容以及商业化内容，比如这个更实惠的皮肤，武器皮肤，然后新的直售的角色皮肤等等。
Oh, hell yeah! If I can direct purchase that, hell yeah!
当然，我们后续的调整其实不光是商业模块的，那游戏内的其他功能优化呢，其实我们也在持续进行当中了。那我们也收到受益人非常多的真诚的建议和反馈。那在这里非常感谢大家对于二重螺旋的支持和包容。那接下来小段继续给我们讲讲新版本的优化进度。
没问题。那么此前其实，在简报中，我们已经提到过了一些优化内容啊，比如说我们金色潜质的失货魔灵啊，获得之后就会自动锁定。
Nice.
并且我们会在这个新版本中呢，全服发放一个带有巧手潜质的失火魔灵。第二条是金色和紫色的同名魔镜，它可以同时。
Nice. Now I can transition slowly instead of like having to refine my whole build.
是佩戴啊，以及禁逐副本中会新增这个传送功能等等，这些内容都会跟随着新版本时装。
Okay.
我们
Oh
的
man.
分子也算是终于发力了，也期待。
23 is like 7 days from now. It's next week.
各位玩家在华胥的版本能够更好的享受游戏。
那新版本中除了刚才提到的这些优化，其实还有其他的比如说我们这个魔灵养成的时候，我们把自动选择逻辑进行了一些优化。优化之后呢，会优先选择妙高高等之类的魔灵养成材料。
Wait.
其他的
That's a shiny boxy. That thing exists?
先选择
How the fuck do you even get them?
之类的魔灵养成材料。其他的还有我们会在渔业协会就是我们的钓鱼商店里面，上架一只带有悠闲和一只带有巧手潜质的失火魔灵。那大家使用这个风鱼之阵就可以兑换了。另外我们也接到很多玩家反馈就是说我们现在的禁逐副本其实每周的次数获得奖励次数是有限的，只有3次，并且这个宝箱里面包含的魔之蝎图纸是非常多的。那么他想获得自己想要的那张魔之蝎图纸，难度其实非常高，并且也没有办法，就是说次数有限嘛。
对。
所以体验是不是特别好？所以我们这次在新版本中做一些优化。
Okay.
我们在通关副本奖励后，就可以额外获得一种新的道具， 那么消耗这种道具可以在商店
Oh,
中
interesting.
兑
So you
换
can
大家
buy
自己想
specific
要的这个金色魔石节图纸。
这个优化确实不错。
Ah, that's that's also a
另外就是在
good middle ground because now in like you can still limit the players, like not allowing them to overgrind everything, but also give them the freedom of like, hey, we know we want to respect your time more, so like you're gonna commit this amount of time on the game, and then like you can pick whichever like wedges you need.
平时游玩
I
的
think
时
that's
候，
really good over like having like to like constantly like worry about like, oh, I can only get it 3 times and then I'm not getting it this week. I guess like I have to bid my like next week, I guess. And then like next week is the same damn thing.
我很想和朋友们一起就是开黑去刷副本，但是目前咱们可联机的副本其实是比较有限的，就是在新版本当中我们会增加新的这种联机副本，不会？
有的，就是我们在新版本中，将梦魇残生啊，就是我们所说的打 BOSS 啊，以及夜航手册中的所有副本，这些全部都加上了一些联机。然后这里我还可以再补充一下，就是我们技术同学其实对于整一个联机系统做了一些
fundamental overhaul。
因为我们之前也收到很多反馈，觉得我们联机系统的体验，就比如说卡顿或者是体验不是特别好，所以我们也把这部分做一些。
That's great. Lower ping is always great. Like having a more snappy experience is always great.
给大家去新增更多的这种滑絮风格的这个副本地图，然后去丰富大家的游玩体验。
滑絮 style commission maps interesting.
在滑絮风格下也是有这个新的副本可以玩了。
对。
那接下来该和大家介绍一下移动端和 PC 端的优化情况了吧？
首先是关于 PC 端的优化
，graphical improvement，
前面提到的角色，然后我们也提升了场景的这个
enhanced scene rendering by adjusting memory usage，
然后去减少游戏卡顿的情况。
OK，
最重要的是滑絮，然后还有之后的版本，场景的渲染是朝着写实的方向去迭代还有优化的。
Will be more
这方面我们
realistic。
进一步的提升
Okay, you already talked about this
材
earlier.
质的细节表现，从而去达到更加精致的场景，包括更加优秀的这个游戏体验，然后去面向我们的玩家。
那刚才小智说的是 PC 端，接下来我们再说一下我们的移动端。其实移动端就是在公测版本，有大家反馈就体验非常糟。
I mean, I cannot say for sure if it's poor or not because my phone is pretty high end technically, even if it's a bit old. But it does get my phone does get pretty hot over time. I think like my phone can handle like a good like 30 minutes of playing before like it turns like really hot. But my phone is also really hot in general, I think, because the back of my phone has like the I think like the protein leather or something like that.
对，这里
再抱歉，
表示非常抱歉。那么在最近就这段时间，我们其实也安排了独立的这个团队，对于我们移动端做一些针对性的优化。
Okay, that's great.
具体优化大概有这么几点。首先是移动端的这个按键布局。
Ooh, being able to change layout, nice.
我们新增了可选布局方案，将螺旋飞跃从过去的这个4合1的按钮。
Actually, it looks surprisingly sharp for like the mobile version.
独立出来，为大家。
It's definitely not as good, but like I cannot play the game on mobile still. Many people still can. Oh, hi, welcome for the stream, Kelmer. Really? What phone do you have? If you don't mind me asking, right? Is it like a low end phone, a mid range, or like is it like a high end phone? Because like I've played the game on 2 phones. So one of my phone is a Xiaomi. It has the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. So that's a pretty high end phone. The other one is a Pro Max. So it has like the iPhone 11 Pro Max. So like this is like a 5 years old phone. It's like 6 years old phone. Moto 5G 2024. You know what? Sorry. Let's look that real quick. Moto 5G 2024. I think that's a mid end. Like I think Motorola has like a mid end chip inside their phones. I think, right? For Gen 1. Oh. Yeah. I can see why. Does your phone able to play any other games? Okay. I don't want to sound like I'm talking down. But like I just wanna say, does the phone able to play any like for example like something like Genshin Impact or like Hawkeye Star Rail, right? For example, it can play every other game. Interesting. Yeah, this is the kind of device most people have. Okay, I don't know where you live, but if you're in America, I feel like getting a good phone is really easy because they always you can always do like a phone plan. Like if you live in my country, my old country was like a third world country. You have to bring your own phone and then buy their phone plans. So like bringing a good phone is really hard because you have to separate both, right? But like in America, and I don't know, maybe like other Western country does that too. But like in general, like when you buy a phone, you can buy it. You can use a plan, right? Like a 2 or 3 years plan. So like getting a new phone in general, it's easier. So like I at least like most people that I've encountered like at work are like holding some sort of like a high-end devices. Like it doesn't have to be the newest devices, right? But like they have like iPhone 12 maybe, or like iPhone 15, or like not really. Most people around here cost 50% or more of salary, and most people make minimum salary. I mean, you're not wrong. But I'm just saying you're gonna buy a phone either way with a plan, right? Like I'm not like I don't know. Maybe I feel like I sound like I'm out of touch, right? But like I feel like a phone is like kind of like essential part of your life. I'm assuming people would like probably invest it a bit more, kind of like buying a car, right? If you're gonna buy something that you're gonna use every day, you probably want to get something that is like a bit more decent. So getting high, I'm not. It doesn't have to be super high end, right? Even like for example, like an older high end costs less, or maybe like a newer mid range. Since you said it's Moto 5G 2024, like judging by the specs, right? Judging by the specs, this is like a low end phone even on 2024. So I don't want to like I don't want to sound like I'm talking down on people. Like again, like if you guys cannot afford it, then it I don't understand like how you guys live. But at least for me, when I'm buying a phone, my older phone was like a Chinese phone. It was like a Poco phone. I don't know if you guys know. It's a Poco F3. It's basically like a budget gaming phone. That phone would have costed almost $1,000 at a time. Well, no, doesn't have to be specifically this, right? Let me see real quick. Let me go to Amazon real quick, right? I think they have Poco. I think they have Poco around here, right? Something like this. I let me see, let me check the chip real quick. I don't wanna claim anything. Oh, of course they don't mention the fucking chip. Are you kidding me? They don't. Oh, they really did not say anything. You know what? Samsung. I think a lot of people either are on Samsung or Apple, right? A. Oh, man, I don't know. I don't know the exact specs. That's a fucking tablet, of course. Let's see. Snapdragon 7 Gen 1. I think this probably would have run. I mean, it's still pretty expensive, I guess, considering how old this is. 8 Gen 1. Because I think your Snapdragon, the GPU is like, I will never buy an Apple product. I don't blame you. I don't like Apple either. The only reason I got an app, I own an Android, right? When I moved to America, I own an Android. But when I'm getting a phone plan, they were like, "Here's the offering. I can give you the offering is either a Samsung or an Apple." And I was like, "I already have an Android. Why would I want a Samsung?" So I got the Apple. But yeah, even when I got the Apple, I got a second hand one, because that would make the plan much cheaper, right? But that's what I'm saying, is that like you can get like a mid end from like the last gen. It doesn't have to be like the more recent ones, right? Like there are ways to, like, it's kind of like buying secondhand, right? You don't always have to get like the super high end and everything. You can always get like the lower, like a higher end of an older product or something like that. But like considering like your phone, I can see why the game would run like, I don't know what other games that you're playing, but like games that are like in the gacha category in general are definitely much more heavier. Like something like Genshin, for example, like Honkai Star Rail, like, you definitely more like need more than just like a, like, I don't know how to say it other than like you probably need a better spec phone. I mean, like, let's use the minimum recommendation, right? Minimum for the night of this. Okay, that's for PC. Oh shit. I mean, I guess they already said what they. I guess they knew the game is gonna be heavy to run. Cause they put like Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. So yeah, I think personally, like the right answer would be to upgrade your phone. No, that's not something that a lot of people can do, but it doesn't change the answer, I guess. That's how I would say it. Like if a cure for cancer is chemotherapy, like, it's not, people are not gonna have a good time with chemo, but like that doesn't change the answer. You still have to go through chemo if you want to be well, if you want to recover, right? So I think like that's basically the conclusion I can have, and I'm sorry. But maybe I mean, we'll see if like the improvement on the mobile optimization will allow like people with like less than recommended specs, or like less than minimum spec, like play it. Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. Sounds good. I mean, I think I heard something from like another YouTuber I watch, right? This is, I hope this doesn't sound too harsh, but like basically if you cannot, they hired a whole new team to optimize the game. That's true. But I don't see them able to like optimize the game that hard. Right? Like optimization is squeezing out performance that you already have. It doesn't create a whole new tier. So I feel like if you're a step or like two step below, then it's fine. But if you're like so far down, like in this, like the Snapdragon 6 Gen 1, for example, that's like two tiers down, right? That it's gonna be really hard to keep performance up with just like optimization alone. I think, like, if I'm like talking logically speaking. But like, yeah, I this is something that I've heard from a different stream, but the thing is I can run the game for a few seconds. Probably ran out of memory then if it runs for run out of like after a few seconds, because like that means like the computer can run it, and then they were like, ugh. It used to be worse. To be fair, I feel you. My 6-year-old like iPhone is doing that. Like it would play games, it would struggle, and then like it just ends up crashing somewhere along the line. And like I'm sure that as time goes, it's gonna get worse like that too. I used to crash on startup. So like yeah. I mean, I'm not saying the optimization on the game is perfect. I'm sure they'll improve. I just don't know if the improvement is gonna be that much. I think at some point you just need a sufficient hardware in the first place. But yeah, I think like again, like the words that I've heard from like this other like streamer or like YouTuber is that like for some people if they're too if their income's so low that they cannot afford these devices, and then like they probably have a bigger issue than playing a game. Which sounds really harsh, but I'm not gonna lie, it kind of makes sense that like if you cannot afford like a hardware that is good enough to play games, then you might have bigger things to worry than just playing games. Or you can play Balatro. I heard it's pretty good, and it doesn't require much. Balatro is like less than 100 megabytes or something, and I heard people loved it. Balatro is good. Yeah, I've heard about it. I bought the game on Steam. Never played it though. I don't know if like card games are really my thing anymore. I used to play card games. I'm not anymore these days, but Balatro can be a good thing. Not my type of game. I feel you. For me too. I probably want to give it a try at some point, maybe when I ran out of games, which probably would be never. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. 1.1 coming up in like 2 weeks, a week or two, like next week, right? In general, yeah, next week. So let's see how it goes.
点按的操作模式。然后我们也考虑到部分用户的一些。
Obviously, I definitely wish for more people to be able to play the game, because like this game is actually really decent. It's like a gacha / non-gacha in a way, right? It's the middle ground between a gacha game and Warframe, basically. So I really want to support this game, but like in order to support them, I cannot do it alone. I'm not a millionaire. Like I cannot give them that much money, so.
新增了这个屏幕的左侧
Shoot and helix leap button on the left. Nice.
就是在左侧、右侧都可以按。此外，在
Now I don't have to swipe no more.
和布局方案时，也支持自定义布局。手机屏幕右下方的攻击、射击等这些按钮，都将支持自定义布局。这个的话就可以自己对按键进行缩放，然后拖拽。那在未来的版本中，我们会支持全局按钮的这个自定义布局，大家就可以根。
I want to say I spent about $100. On what? The phone or the game? I mean, considering the phone you have right now, I hope you spend it on the phone and not the game.
根据自己的这个操作习惯来进行自定义的调整。那么还有一点就是
，just because I wanted to i6 Hellfire, no way. Did you spend it on the game? Why would you do that? I would never understand how like people be spending more money on the game rather than their devices. Like this is me personally, right? Because I really want to enjoy the game, so I would usually upgrade my device first, and then I would spend money on the game, not the other way around.
我们在移动端其实进入疾跑状态，每次其实都需要先点一下那个闪避。
And also $100 only gives you like 2 intron, I think. Because like every 30 dots that you require to like upgrade the character is like $50 or something. So like $100 gives you like 2 level, like 2 introns, two constellations.
对这一部分做了优化，那么玩家只要
Lock sprint by pushing the stick upwards. That's nice.
就可以进入。
That's all I needed. I don't know what to say. It's just definitely something that I would never do. I spend all my weekly bosses on farming Hellfire introns. Lamau. Man, you're dedicated. You know what? If there's anything I can say, you're dedicated. It's definitely not something I would ever do. Because like, if I have like I used to have crappy devices, like you know, like a lot of people hearing me talking right now and like they think like, oh, you're out of touch, like you know, must be nice being so rich you can afford like high end hardware and stuff like that. Nah, bro. I do this because I used to play games on crappy like devices. I played GTA 5 on like 400 by 300 resolutions just so I can play them. Back then I was that hardcore because I really want to play. So I will do everything in order to play. And now that I actually make my own money, I'm like, never again. I will never play a game like that again. Well, my phone can play majority of games, so I'm not really interested in upgrading just to play one game. Which is fair, right? I think it depends on the game for me. I would like there are some games that are like warrant the upgrade. Like I'm not talking about like mobile games in general, but and you did say you don't play gacha games in general, so I'm assuming a lot of your other games are like much easier to run. I mean, there aren't that many games on the phones that are like harder to run than a gacha game, to be fair. Gacha game is probably like has the biggest size of like them all. Like Genshin, Wuthering Waves, and like this game is probably like the three biggest one, like because they're all open world. Like compared to the other gacha games that doesn't have like an open map and stuff like that. So yeah, like I don't blame you. Like again, this is just me, right? Like if I know I want to play something and I can only play it from one devices, I would always like I would definitely put effort into making sure that device is actually capable. Because I used to play games on like a crappy laptop that cannot even run like an esport games, right? Trying to make a laptop like that to run like GTA 5 back then is so damn hard, but I did it anyway because I want to play. So now never again. That's for me though.
那还有其实就是大家非常关心画面的问题了。那其实之前的这个大家有截图啊
screenshot and
都比较
comments
集中啊，就是针对反馈我们的画面很糊
blurry
其
visuals.
实目前我们针对优化了这个抗锯齿和渲染分辨率的情
I
况，
mean,
有效的提升这个画面的画质。这样
oh, that's kind of
大
crazy.
家在新版本当中
That's actually kind of crazy. That's that.
其实画面就不会再糊了。那同时其实还有玩家是表现我们游戏说卡顿啊、发热的部分。那其实
Stuttering and overheating, nice. Because even my phone's overheats. I have to play all games, but 2 games I've encountered. What are those 2 games? And it's several years old. Oh, I'm sure. Like if it's like a capable laptop, like from like a decent like anything from like for the last like 6 or 7 years is like capable enough nowadays. Because my laptop was like back then was like the Intel HD and like Star Wars Jedi game. Oh shit. See, Fallen Order, you might be able to run, like, but the newer one, like Jedi. Let me see my Survivor? Yeah, no. Survivor struggled to run even on like my 4090, so the optimization was crap. So I'm not surprised. But like Fallen Order was pretty optimized from my experience. Survivor was not.
运行的内存的占用率，对。
那么通过大勇老师刚才说的
definitely nice, like looking for it to be much more like accurate. It doesn't look this bad for me from my phone, but man.
并且呢，能够提升游戏在手机端整体的性能以及画面的表现。那我们通过屏幕前的视频，可以更加清楚地了解到，就移动端优化前后的一个。
For some reason, they did funky things on to my PC. That's interesting. I don't know how technical you are, but maybe which require full restarts to fix. Maybe try updating the drivers. Maybe I'm not sure how old the device is, right? But like sometimes it's a driver issue. Sometimes like a new like a Windows reinstall can fix that kind of things too. But also it really depends on like what your device is, right? Because sometimes like some games just refuses to run when you don't meet a specific requirement. For example, like Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2 will not run on anything that is like older than 10 series Nvidia or something like that. It changed the resolution of my computer. I wonder if it's because of the default. Maybe you should try changing like the ini files, like the text.
那么今天因为直播时间有限，我们只能介绍这次新版本中
Can only cover part of the
然后剩余的这
optimizations.
个优化内容，我们会在后续
Will
的
be
更新
shared
报
in
中跟大家展
announcements.
示。
同时伴随我们大
By
风
the
歌版
launch
本
of
的
the
开
Wind
放，
Awakening.
二重螺旋 Steam 版。
Finally on Steam. I have zero knowledge on how to do that. It would be hard for me to kind of guide you because it's on a per game basis. Like every game does things differently. But in general, I think there's like a file somewhere in the game folder that has like a text file that is like filled with like the settings. And you can technically change that into whatever you want.
版本也会同时上线。
It's the same as like changing settings in the game, except like you have to do it manually.
那欢迎受益人将二重螺旋添加到心愿单。那12月23号即可通过 Steam 平台进行游戏。后续呢，我们也会在官方社媒平台放出更多 Steam 版本。
Hopefully it doesn't get removed from Steam like what was it again? Brown does.
那我这边还有一条，就是我们之前其实在公测前瞻的时候有提及过我们的其他语言
Additional
的版本。
languages. I got plenty other games to enjoy right now. And you're damn right, there's always other games out there to play.
跟大家同步的是我们的法语版本
The French
已经
version.
进入到最终的这个
That's
测试
like
阶段
really
了
specific. Why
预计
French?
会在明年年初更新。同时，德语和
German and
西语版本我们
Spanish
也
are
在
coming.
筹备当中，将在未来的版本中进行
Man
实现。
还有，其实玩家最近一段时间其实都有在反馈啊，就说我们公测版本那么多
Why aren't they
还没改
fixed yet?
对吧？那这里其实我也想跟大家特别说明一下，其实大家的反馈问题，其实我们内部都有仔细看的，然后还有很多宝贵的意见，都对我们工作室开发有非常大的帮助。
It can't even run Monster Hunter Wilds with very little. I'm really surprised. Monster Hunter Wild run. Maybe my expectation was too high, but I was hoping at like 100 frame plus, like stable, for me. But maybe it's a bit, it's a bit too much for me to ask, I guess, even with my current hardware.
我们是从更负责任的角度呢去看待所有的问题的。我们所有的修复的内容
Yeah, making a
设计
PC
方案
is
到
powerful. That's
这
great.
个修改测试到最终的这个上线，我们都需要一定的时间，所以我们是希望我们有更完善的方案
Well,
和大
laptop.
家这个讨论公布。所以希望大家
Hey, laptop
能够理
is
解
a
所以我们
PC.
后续
It's
还
just
会继续
portable,
通过
right?
角角简报栏目，让大家更能了解我们的真实动向。大家在游戏当中遇到的
We will
问题
keep
我们
addressing-
也会
man
进行处理的。
You gotta address the fact that the weapons are fucking useless in this game. Man, like one of the downsides of DNA compared to Warframe is that like the weapons in Warframe actually matters. The weapons in this game is literally like a stat stick. It might as well be a PNG. Cause like using it on inside the game when you're fighting like on my like I'm trial rank like level 61, and like when I played it, like I can barely kill anyone with the weapon at this point. Because everyone is just so like spongy.
那相信我们在未来的持续运营之下呢，二重螺旋
Maybe
会
1.2,
更加地
1.2,
完善
maybe,
那
maybe,
多段时间
maybe.
问题也会
I'm gonna
逐渐地
definitely put some of it on my
那
feedback.
我们的直播到这里也就接近尾声了。再次感谢大家对于二重螺旋的支持。那最后
They're not likely going to mention balance stuff. They're not gonna do balance stuff right here because like the 1.1 is basically kind of like the Hail Mary, right? That's why they already introduced 1.1 even in like the first 1.0 program. It's because this patch is supposed to fix whatever things that was broken in the launch. So I don't think they're like focusing that much on like small balancing things like that first. I think they're focusing on like the bigger like things that most people complaining about, which is like a lot of like the performance issues, right? I'm very much sure they're gonna have some balance in 1.0. They did. They introduced some events that kind of help with like the demon wedges farming and stuff like that. But that's like that's a more bigger issue compared to like not being able to use your, well, I guess if I describe it that way, that's bad, right? But like it's a bigger issue because like the demon wedge is like a universal issue that doesn't have a solution. You'd be surprised how much people are complaining about the weapon character. No. I'm talking about like not having a solution for it. Like, so for example, like the weapon and character balance, I can definitely tell that it's like out of like whack. The weapons are straight up useless. Like it's a stat stick. You might as well be PNG, like I said earlier. And the character, you can definitely tell some characters are just plain better than the other one, like Lind, for example, or like Niffle, right? But that's it. They have a solution for it. Like, you know, if some characters are meta, then just use that character for now. You can still play the game, right? But like the Demon Wedge issue, like being too hard to grind, for example, that's like a universal issue. That's like an issue that might stop people from playing altogether. They just need like 2-3 times more base attack value. Yeah, definitely. I think like they need like, yeah. I'm leaning more toward 3 times just because like it doesn't feel good at all right now to use them. But yeah, like they definitely need more base attack value. That way, like that way the Demon Wedge works way better. And then like you can actually kill things without relying on like the characters too much, right? Because like if they fix the weapon, the character balance also kind of gets solved in some ways, because now you can kill enemies with weapons and not just characters. And if the character balance is solved, then like, you know, you don't have to rely as much on the weapons anymore either. So like they can definitely fix that, but I feel like that's less of a priority compared to like the grinding problem, I think. Like for example, right? Earlier they were talking about the demon wedges, right? In the weekly commission, the chase commission, the one that you can only do 3 times a week, right? They fixed it by they kind of give us a solution by allowing us to pick which blueprint we want. And that's like a really good thing, right? Because like there's no other way for you to get that blueprint other than playing the weekly mission. So now by allowing us to pick what we wanted to, which blueprint we want. So my Demon Witch issue isn't the same as everyone. I mean, it really depends on which stage of the game you are at. Because like at my stage, I need to start getting like the golden ones. And like if you're still early on, then like you're mostly worried about like leveling up the trial rank, right? Instead of like the Demon Wedge. Gold Wedge farming? Yeah. Well, this is part of your problem then. Sorry, I'm trying to find the freaking thing.
熔炼模具和提升我的一目了然了。相应的，12月加直接会加入记我们的，
应该说就是我们朗着色类
展示动，
之前有折扣活动，这个上之后
外观内容，
这种就是版本的商业化内容肯定会越来越多，
这样挺好。
碎片，看我们
这个优化。
Yeah, here we go. There we go.
可以在商店中兑换大家。
Yeah, so now we can pick the desired blueprint from the shop instead of like hoping for like luck. My issue is doing the same content over and over again with little to no variety, unlike weapon farming where you need to do 2-3 different mission, 3-5 different mission of the to make one weapon. I actually kind of hate that. I'm the other way around, I think. I think what I hate about the weapon grind is the fact that some of them you cannot AFK on some of them, right? That's for me. The Demon Wedge is like something that I think it's because like I have other games to play, so I can technically put it in the background as I do something else. I also grind at work, so sometimes I don't have to be in front of the phone. I think my problem with the grinding was that the fact that like grinding wedges on a defense mission sucks, because the defense mission does not continue. I don't know why they couldn't all be just expulsion. So I can just keep pressing repeat. But I think they kind of address the issue somewhat. I think they're introducing the double drop reward. I think like the increased reward chance for the demon wedges, I think in the upcoming event. So that will help like with the farming of the golden wedges. And also with this change on the chase commission too. They're introducing as an event, yeah. And also I think there's 2 things they added. I think they added, but it's not a permanent solution. The permanent solution is the Prime Ender, right? they're adding more Prime Ender on the game mode, so now you get more gold the more wedge drops overall. They also mentioned it earlier in the thing. I cannot find it though. Fucking hell. Wait, they are? Yeah. They're saying it along with the double drop event. Sorry, I really cannot find it like manually like this. Yeah, here. So we'll receive a bonus increasing the number. I've got a question. So first of all, you can, if it's not tied to that event, it's going to be held next. Yeah. So you can, first of all, like in the event, you can also you can use the commission manual to get more. So like, you know, from 1 to 2, from 2 to 4, basically. Quadruple.
这个好，这个好。
OK。
那么此外呢，还会开启这个限时委托的模式，然后在这个模式下
，Okay, and this commission, okay, I guess this is limited time. I guess this is limited time. Besides that, this limited time commission. Yeah, so this is, I guess, it's limited for the event. So here, a large number of Prime Ender, defeating them will grant you even more Demon Wedges. So I don't know. I'm assuming this is like for the event only for now. But maybe if we give, like, maybe we should give, like, you know, always. They said they always read the feedback, right? So we just put the feedback that like it should be a permanent thing. They should make more Prime Ender to show up in general, I think. But I think they cannot do that if they don't add the weapon balance too, because like most people that are not following the meta are struggling without the weapons, right? So like I think they also need to they need to do that along with the balance patch, I think. If they're gonna do an overhaul like that. But I think before all of that, they gotta solve the performance issue first. You know, in order to let people play more, first you gotta let them play in the first place, right? So first of all, performance has to go first. You need to smooth out like the experience of the gaming in general, and then you balance out the end game part, because like most of the time damage problem only comes as an issue if you're like really kind of close to the end game. I think like I think damage is becoming a problem once you reach like trial rank like 45 and above. I think when you start slowing down in the leveling. So I think it makes sense for them to prioritize like this whole like what they're doing in 1.1 right now, because they're prioritizing the earlier part of the experience. And especially since they said they're still looking to improve more things in like the upcoming update, right? So as long as like they're keeping up on it, I think it'll work. Boang. So yeah, I'm definitely buying. I mean, I'm definitely swiping on the game. I'm getting some of the skins here and there, and I can't wait for the new phone. There's a lot of issues by buffing. A lot of these issues will be fixed by buffing some of the characters. You're not wrong. Definitely not wrong. We'll have to see, I guess, right? The update is still like the update is still coming. And like I think considering like the update is almost over, I'm assuming they're gonna have like another one of those like survey, right? I'm looking forward to like filling those survey again, because I really want them. First of all, I really want them to be a global region game. Because like goddamn it, when buffing weapon, hopefully 1.1 will balance some characters, or just make some characters straight up busted, like Fushu is like a healer, right? She's a healer that can recover sanity, bro. My psyche is gonna wreak havoc, bro. Like it's over. My psyche is gonna be permanently on alt. Like if you know what they need to fix? The AI. I just remember they need to fix the fucking AI. The amount of time Daphne refuses to heal me is insane. I think they need to fix that. If there's any problem that I feel like really like stood forward for me, it's like the freaking AI is so fucking dumb. I had an AI that died on me because like it refuses to attack at all. So like I have a Rebecca that died on me because the Rebecca refuses to attack. It was facing the other way, and then like it keeps getting hit from from behind, from the back. So it doesn't use any skill or attack, and it's just like stand there until she dies. And I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Like I was at work too, so I couldn't really solve it. And when I came back to my phone, I was like, wait, why is she dead? And why is the mission not complete? I don't know what causes the character going. Yeah, that's an AI issue. That's something that is game breaking. That's something that they actually have to solve because the mission wasn't complete because the character dies. Also, how are you doing, Lil Rice? You, damn, Lil Rice. Is that like a Chinese rap? Like, is that an Asian rapper name? As far as Daphne not healing, it's likely a duration issue. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like I definitely didn't see her healing like working when she doesn't heal. And there's definitely no low energy icon, so I know she has enough energy. She just refuses to do it. She just prefer attacking enemies. And I'm like, bro, you're a healer. Fucking use your skills. I think they should definitely work on that. They should work on the weapon balance. I think hopefully with now that the graphics is improving, they can kind of like improve the fluidity of like the movement. I think like the movement could be smoother. Unless you use rhythm. I have seen some people use rhythm when like the freaking... I know trouble doesn't heal when you have trouble with duration wedge. Really? Wait, trouble heals? I barely use truffle. I barely use her because she keeps ruining my theater gameplay. I hate her. I hate her so much in the theater. She keeps pushing the enemies away. I cannot kill them in time. It was so painful playing with her. I think like on the Psyche's theater, I couldn't finish 12 because of truffle, and I'm like, fuck you, truffle. Truffle alone can keep you sustained. You know what? It would be good if Truffle doesn't actually push the enemy like 20 meters away. It will be good, but I don't think I'll be using her in the theater ever. Because she keeps throwing that fucking pick. But yeah, I think that's my reaction on this so far. Like the update overall is really, it's not in. It could be more. But right now, considering the state of the game, I think they're more concerned in fixing the game. Like on the core part, like kind of like, you know, the crashes and like the performance improvement instead of like purely like balance patch, I guess. I mean, you did see what they said like early on, like in this live stream, like they're working overtime. So I think considering like I don't know how much they make on this game, considering that they removed the gacha system. And honestly, so I really appreciate them for like doing overtime, like trying to fix it, considering like the amount of money they're getting is definitely lower than like if they release a gacha game. Trouble gives you a 70% damage boost. This is multiplicative. The damage doesn't matter if I cannot hit the enemy though. Enough to keep it afloat from what I've heard. Well, yeah, I mean that's good. I'm hoping for it to like stay long term. I mean, this is the Warframe of gacha game right now. This is like this game has the best monetization so far compared to other gacha games. So like I definitely want this game to last long, But like the publisher of this game is like Hero Games, and Hero Games literally backed out of like Wuthering Waves like when the game failed, right? So I don't know, like I just hope like it lasts long term. Like, you know, like businesses these days, they don't want you to just last. Like they don't just want to survive. I think like game developer doesn't mind that. You know, as long as we survive, like that's something that the CEO of Kuro Game does it like said, right? But the problem is that like when you have an investor behind you, like or like people that are like you're beholden to, like you have to do more than just survive. That's minimal cosmetic. They're doing a lot more cosmetic. That's their mode of monetization, right? They cannot afford. They have to do more cosmetics. It's not even. It's not a question of like if. It's a question of when. It's not even the sound of it. Like they definitely has to do it. That's their main income. It's kind of like where wins meat. Like if you know if you sell if you're purely like if your game is not pay to win at all, which I mean this game still has pay to win element because you can still buy the characters, but like it's mainly cosmetic, right? So like they definitely have to work hard in making the skins. I mean I'm definitely buying the freaking like bikini like this, like it's gonna be in my inventory. Like that's just the kind of person I am. Like even Warframe, even though I never, even though I stopped playing Warframe a while ago, I still come back to the game and just randomly buy things, just because I want to support the company. And actually, I might come back to the Warframe. Old, like the new update is so good. I wouldn't say characters in general are paid to win or like paying to have new ways to play. It's pay to win, bro. It's pay for power, basically. Like think about it. In gacha games in general, you're pulling for power because the characters are the power, and like the contents will revolve all around them. As long as you can pay for that, that's categorically speaking a pay to win because you can pay for more power. You know, some people arguing like, oh, it's not PvP, so it's not pay to win, but like you're paying for power right there. Like I think like the best the best middle ground for me has always been like paying for cosmetics because it doesn't affect the power of your character. And it really depends on like your self-control and your taste. Like when you're spending money, you're not spending money because I cannot finish this content. I'm spending money because I want my character to look good. The reasoning is not gameplay related, I think. But paying for new characters doesn't equal power inherently. But it does because the content will revolve around them. Like for example, in Wuthering Wave, when the new character drops, or like in other gacha game, right? When the new character drops, the end game is gonna have so much buff that is like revolving around that character. Like for example, if the character is like a sword user character, then the next buff is gonna be plus 50% attack power for sword users. Paid for Hellfire and her, and like see that's a balancing issue, right? But like the concept still stands. Is that like that's not paying to win. Okay, but is your Hellfire at I6 stronger than at Hellfire at I0? There's a power that you gain from it, right? I'm not saying you're gonna. I think you should have said like you should have said it like this. Like paying to win is about paying for power, but paying for new character doesn't equal winning in this game, which is you're not wrong. The power spike on this game doesn't like because of the balancing issue. The power spike on some characters is not as much, right? But you're still paying for more power. Like, you know, someone that doesn't have $100 and they play the same amount, like if you and someone else play the same amount of time and you spend the extra $100 to get 2 more copies of the character, you inherently have more power than that guy, the other guy that plays the same amount of time as you. You can pay for prime frames there, but it's not pay to win. You're not wrong. Okay, let me think for a second. I think what you say makes sense in the Warframe and this game specifically. But I think in other gacha games, which you said earlier that it's not you didn't play, right, it doesn't affect, because like because they limit how, because in this game because in this game you can grind for all the characters and the weapons, right? So like there's definitely a lot less advantage to like paying for the character or the weapon straight up. But in like something like I said earlier, like Wuthering Wave, or if you're playing like Honkai Star Rail, or if you're playing Genshin Impact, the amount of premium currency you can get from the game itself is limited per version. Um so like paying is just straight up will make you better than, like, will give you an advantage over people that doesn't pay, because everyone has the same amount of limitation on each version. Paying to win would be like getting 100 plus on a weapon that takes you 50 years to grind, or like that's a hyperbolic. I think that's a hyperbolic examples. Just because the advantage is not significant does not mean, well, not that significant. Nope, that's pretty common. I'm not saying it's not common. I'm just saying it's bad. Just because the thing is common does not mean it's not bad. Especially in mobile, no shit. But like, still, that just because it's common doesn't mean I agree with it. That's also why I stop. That's also why I most of my gacha adventure eventually stops, because I'm just like I'm tired of like this game design in general. But yeah, like there's definitely, I think like people call Warframe pay for convenience, right? Convenience is a form of power, I think. It's a form of, it's not power. Okay, let me rephrase that. Convenience is a form of advantage. And I think that's what they're doing here. That's why they're pretty similar to Warframe, right? Except that in Warframe, you can grind the premium currency too. You don't even have to spend the money at all, right? In this game, if you want to, you can grind the character manually like in Warframe, but you cannot grind the premium currency in this game, right? So this game is technically a step below Warframe in that regard. Because in Warframe, you can grind the character, you can grind the premium currency, or you can spend the money. That's 3 ways for you to get the characters. It's also 10 times harder to get Warframe than it is in this. There's some arguments to be made on that. My luck in Warframe hasn't been that bad. And I played Warframe since like 2015. They unlock prime frames too. They always come back, first of all, and they don't take away the relics that you have. So if you have the relics, you can always get them, right? The problem is that this game has too little characters right now. Maybe they'll do the same later, right? There's always a chance of them doing the same thing as Warframe eventually, or like, oh, like the secret letter for this character is going to be swapped out or something like that, right? So we've yet to see. This game is barely like this game is like 2 months old. But I think the point is that like if you can grind the platinum though, why does it matter in Warframe, right? Even if they lock the prime frames, if I can grind the platinum, the premium currency, I can just buy it from someone else. Like, being able to grind the premium currency kind of solves all the problem that the game has, like, technically. Because like, oh sure, you know, like the prime the prime frames are like vaulted. Like, what should I do? Like, well, I can grind from the platinum and then like buy from someone else. Like, there's always someone else out there that is like selling a prime frame, like the blueprints and stuff. And like, from the looks of it, it'll be secret letter grant. That's the thing. But like the character, like maybe who knows? Like, if they want to in the future, they can just like, this is me being skeptical, right? This is like this is just a theory, but like down the line they can be like, hey, we're gonna vault this like secret letter, and then we're gonna do a rotation on like what we unlock every patch. They can always do that down the line. I mean, I don't know. So like if we wanted to be skeptical about Warframe, we can be skeptical about this game too. Except that in Warframe you can buy it, like, you know, you can buy anytime because you can trade with players too. That's another thing. Warframe has a lot of like co-op aspect that you can actually like take advantage of. For example, like playing with people gives you more drops, gives you more XP. When you're opening when you're opening relics, which is like secret leather in like Warframe, like you can take people's stuff, like you can pick people's stuff too. So you're not even relying on your own luck. You can rely on other people's luck too. So I think Warframe has a lot of like their problems that kind of figured out, mostly because they're older. Well, for this game, I think I'm being more skeptical on DNA in general is because like this game is technically copying Warframe, right? They're not copying 1-to-1, but they definitely have inspiration from Warframe already. So like technically they already have their problem solved for them. They could have just copied, like it's like talking bad about like Epic Game Store compared to Steam, right? Steam already has all the problems solved. All Epic Game Store have to do is copy Steam. And if they fail at that, then that's Epic Game Store's problem. That's not Steam's problem. Steam took like decades to get good, yeah, sure, but like they paid the time. Like the other store, all the other store have to do is copy Steam, because Steam already did the good stuff, did the hard stuff. They're copying the formula. Yeah, no, I'm not like, again, I'm not saying it's copying 1-to-1. So yeah, like I think in general, I'm always more skeptical on the newer games because like you already had someone did the hard work for you. All you have to do is copy the good stuff, and then add layers on top of that. But a lot of companies weren't able to do that. But I'm willing to give this game a chance. I think back then I already committed that like if this game is good, if this game can hook me in the 1.0, I'll support this game for at least a year. So I'm definitely gonna keep that. Definitely gonna keep that promise. I'm gonna play this game at least until like the 2.0. And if it keeps getting better, then I'll just keep supporting it, right? And if it doesn't, then I'll just stop playing. I mean, I still have 1,000+ games on my Steam that I can play. But yeah, I think that's about it. It's freaking 4 a.m. for me. I still have work to do tomorrow. Well, not even tomorrow, later. But I'm also not going too hard on DNA because the game was originally supposed to be gacha, but they removed the gacha element late in its development. The rest of the system seems like a scramble to get functioning, including the balance of the character. Exactly. Yeah. That's also why I have faith in the game. That's also like, that's why when they did the reveal, I was just like, you know what? This game made this reveal. I'm playing the game 100%. I'm giving this game a chance. Like, I'm giving this game the best chance they can get. And like the gameplay aspect in this game is definitely really off. Like, it was really janky, like in the gameplay. But I think the story and the music is really good, and that's why I'm sticking to it. I'm definitely listening to the player, and I'm 100% on board. Exactly. Yeah. Like, yeah. And as long as they keep doing that, I'll be here giving them my money. Maybe if I'm rich enough, one day I can just like visit their company and be like, hey. One day maybe if I'm rich enough, but for now I'm not. But yeah. I appreciate everyone who's coming here and stopping by, you know. Thank you so much for listening to me rambling and like discussing things with me. I think next week I'm gonna be probably doing some of my Wuthering Waves like dailies. Like I don't think I streamed Duet Abyss all that much recently, mostly because I already do the freaking grind at work. So like I barely have stuff to do like these days other than like grinding like demon wedges. I do think they could do raid fights, but that's a later development thing. I think they should fix what they have first before they start adding new things. I think that's me. That's my opinion. I think Huashu is something that they've worked that they kind of like leaning on really hard. So I really hope they did a good job on it so they can kind of redeem themselves before they start experimenting on more things. Because like just like Warframe, right? Warframe started off being like this like limited map per map basis, and then then once they got their footings right, they released the open world map and stuff like that. So like I'm hoping they did the same thing in Duet Abyss. definitely looking forward to getting those skins for this game. I can see this game doing really well. Not if people are crashing off the game and the ping is so high. I was playing with my friend. I couldn't even see him on the freaking screen. That the co-op is that bad. They might as well. They gotta fix the co-op first before they start doing that freaking raid stuff. I mean, on the design. Yeah. I mean, like, you know, they stole the formula. Like, not they stole. They copied the formula from like Warframe, right? Warframe already has a raid thing, like a raid fight. I think so. I think up to 4. Do they have more than 4? I forgot, man. I didn't play like I don't play like not all of them. I heard nothing but bad things from the Warframe boss fights because like the game has I think it's because the game is much more complicated, right? I think it's really hard to balance things out when things get more too complicated. For example, like the weapons in Warframe has like different elemental, and each element does different things, and like each weapon can have multiple elements. That complicate things, right? Like a lot more. Like there's a lot more depth going with the game. And like, I mean, like they reworked the melee system like 3 times. So obviously they're just as confused as we are. But I think they're listening to the community, and like the game lasted like 1.5 decade. So they must be doing some things right. And I really hope Duet Abyss is doing the same thing. Like global version Duet Abyss, so I can play with my friends, please. Like Warframe. Like I really want to play with my friends. Like, and again, like gifting. If I can gift, if I can play with my friends and I can gift things, I probably would have like spent more money on this game just to give my friends some skins. With how DNA has made their bosses, I can see an evolution on their mechanics. It better not involve more invulnerability phases. I dreaded my time grinding beasts, like the beast on the snow or something, because every time I'm about to kill her, she would fly and she would do this like laser shooting phases where I cannot kill her. And the problem is that like she has all this sword on the field that you have to destroy, and the AI does not attack any of them. The AI does not attack them out of the box. You have to actually force them, kinda. Like if you attack the sword enough, eventually they start helping you. But in general, like the AI does not attack interactable things. The AI only attacks enemies. This is why I said that the AI needs to be fixed. Yeah, no, that's gotta go. And also like the Hellfire fights. Every time she does that like dashes combo, I'm like, bro, just kill me. Why are you wasting my time? I could have killed you like a minute ago. Make these raid fights not single player. Well, they already said they're gonna change the nocturnal echoes, right? The boss fight now you can play with people. We can play co-op in nocturnal echoes. Moving forward, they did say it, so they're definitely listening. Yeah, I am looking forward for to this game. WUA 3.0 and like DNA 1.1. This has been like a wild ride. I am definitely looking forward to all this improvement like coming. I'm definitely gonna be playing all of them along with like my addiction in Where Winds Meet. Man, I spent like 200, almost 300 hours on that game, and that game is barely like a month old. Like I spent a lot of time on that game. Like that game is so good. I love Chinese wuxia. So I'm definitely looking forward to playing all of those 3 games, along with all the other single-player games I have yet to play. So I would like to thank you, everyone who's watching. If you guys haven't followed, maybe you should follow me. I stream around this time every week. And if I don't stream, I usually post why. A lot of the times I work overtime, so sometimes I cannot stream. But yeah, in general, I stream right around this time. And I usually stream my gacha games because I don't really stream my story my story playthrough on stream. An example I have with Hellfire is making her dash live lingering flames, 4 chains, and her immunity phase when destroyed. None of this lasts. These fireline will last for a long time. That's fair. Like adding a mechanics where you can actually like stop her phases, like her dashes, is actually really nice. Or maybe like if you attack her at the right time, you can parry her and stop her from like moving or something like that. So it kind of like adds like this, like kind of like, you know, you can increase the damage of her dashes. And then like if you manage to attack her at the right time, then it'll stop her dashes altogether. Or maybe like during her jump, like her like jumping mechanic, right? Between like the first dash and the second dash, I think she will do like the big jump. Then you could have done that to like something that would stop, because like I really hate all this like time wasting mechanic, but I think it makes sense. They added all these mechanics to kind of like extend the playtime, right? Like the game early on is like kind of like doesn't have that much content. So I think a lot of the game design is kind of designed with like, hey, we need to extend this game life as long as possible while we fix things up. So hopefully that like now the game is doing hopefully as the game does better, they gonna like they're gonna make the gameplay more lenient, like more lean and like more exciting and less time consuming. I mean, they already started doing that, right? Like with the whole like improvement on grinding and stuff, and I hope they keep going in that direction. But yeah, it's almost 4:30. Like I said, I still have work, so I would like to thank you everyone who's watching, whether you guys lurking, chatting, playing with me. I appreciate you all. Again, I stream same time every week, right around this time, sometimes more. Imagine sleeping. I've did that before, but I work in healthcare. I have to sleep. Because if I don't sleep and something happens, it affects people's life, literally. So I usually try to keep myself like healthy enough. And also I don't want to be too tired when it's actually my day off, right? If I keep not sleeping and then that my day off comes, I spend the whole day sleeping, I don't get to play the games. I'm probably joking. Me, like I said, like I do that all the time too. Imagine sleeping, right? I said that and then I go to sleep anyway. Because I just realized that like, hey, I do want to spend my day off like actually playing games and not sleeping. But yeah, sleeping grass was that. I know, right? Shit, like I cannot see the grass with all those snow outside, bro. There is no grass to touch, only snow. Touch snow. But yeah, if you guys interested in hearing me yapping or like, you know, watching me grind my ass off, feel free to come back next week. Sometimes I stream like, you know, it's consistently it's this time of the week, but sometimes I do extra stream when I have stuff that I want to do, like finishing story quest, like, you know, finishing a certain event, for example, and stuff like that. So yeah. I appreciate talking with you, Kalmer. It was really nice, like having a discussion, having like a back and forth like this, like is definitely really helped like spice things up, and like also gives me new ideas, like especially like you know, it's like trading thoughts and stuff. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming, and I hope I'll see you guys again on my next stream, whenever that is. But for now, I'm a ciao. I'll try to keep things interesting. Hey, you are doing a great job. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I appreciate everyone else who lurks and listening to me yapping for the past like 4 hours. This is gonna be such a long YouTube video. I hope I can keep people interested. Probably not, because I don't edit my videos that much. But yeah, I'll see you guys again next time. For now, I'm a ciao. Bye bye. Oh, drown. Absolutely. I'm getting my drink right before I go. Oh, I ran out. Fuck, there's a 50-minute cooldown. I can actually draw it. Yeah. See, I've seen it coming. I've had people actually try to draw me, so I'm one step ahead of you, brother. Yeah. I'm a ciao now.